That's just a taste of what's coming up next.
Emig, the checkered flag, the checkers for Ricky Carmichael.
Have a lot of style as Carmichael takes the checkered flag.
Dowdy's got a wheel. No, Emig comes back. So close here at the end. We're getting toward the checkered flag. Dowdy touches him a little bit.
I'm really happy for them all, and I'm really happy for Mitch Payton too, who's been out there for so long. Now he's got an outdoor title.
Number one is number one once again.
That was cool. Was that fun or what?
Oh yeah, it always is. Congratulations, Rick.
You're the seasoned vet at this though, and he's the newcomer. What do you think of his performance?
Awesome. I didn't think he could do it.
What do you think
I
of the kid here?
I knew he could win, but I didn't know about myself.
What about the champagne?
Oh,
huh?
I just had to. It's his first one, you know?
You got to learn, right?
Yeah.
I'm a rookie. They mess with me all the time.
Yeah. Also on the show, we're going to have a couple of great features. One on Greg Albertyn, and another one on Jeff Emig, who rode around in an F-15, which is a lifelong dream of his.
MW2's Rev It Up is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and ATVs. Get one of the best deals on earth. Get a pair of Steiner binoculars with select Honda ATVs. And by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it.
The end of the year, I was only at the first race and at the last race. You depressed with me, you know, because I'm not in charge of where I go. There's other forms of motorsports that I have to cover. I'm only one Jerry.
Well, where have you been? Like other motorsports? What do you mean by other motorsports? Where have you been?
Well, I went racing legend cars at Tustin Thunder. I actually won the race. Legend cars came from 6th, spun, and won. High five. Things like that. I was riding little go-peds down there in L.A. I went to the 6 days of Michigan, did some riding. I've been having some fun. Hey, this is the new camera guy, and he's got to keep rolling 24/7. Don't ever stop rolling. Why can't I touch you?
Because I don't have to kick your butt.
You're going to have to speak up because my voice projects more than yours. And then when I talk to you and you go, because I'm going to have to kick your butt. It doesn't sound right.
Well, you know, I just don't like when people touch me.
Okay, I promise I'll never touch you again. I'll only touch you mentally with my mind. Okay, let's bond right now at the last. Yeah, bring it on. I don't care. Is it so wrong for a man to love another man?
Always hanging out for the girls. Oh, and the boys.
That sounds like some Subway thing. I'll always hang it out for the girls.
Don't let him kid you. He'll hang it out for the boys too.
Always hanging out for the girls, though.
We got anything serious?
Okay, yeah.
No, excuse me. Do we have anything serious?
We have something really serious. Wait, is anybody listening? No. Mr. Number One Plate. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. I can't believe it most of the time.
No, don't give me that.
No, really. I mean, sometimes I don't understand how I do it.
I know how.
But I would. The insiders know that it's my training schedule and my dedication to the sport, and the fact that I have a good time everywhere I go.
Yeah. See, it's kind of like a psychological thing because at Glen Helen it was about 105 degrees and he wore the all-black shift shirt. Who's going to wear all-black racing to outdoor national motocrosses?
That's Emig, and it ticks me off, man.
Doesn't it? Black.
You know, Troy, Ohio, we go there, and he's wearing black, and I'm going, what an idiot. I hope it backfires on him, and it didn't. Frustrating.
The bad boy.
The bad boy, but we'll see how bad he is next year.
Jeff's riding an excellent year. You can't say anything bad about it. He's riding awesome, and I think for me, I wasn't my normal self this year. I don't think everyone's riding a whole lot faster than they were last year. It's just maybe I'm riding a little bit slower. So I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen next year.
What gets you excited? I've been talking to you on and off throughout the course of the year, and like, dude, you're always mellow. Is that the way you are, or
I'm just
do you ever
mellow.
get wound up?
Sometimes I get wound up.
Like when?
I don't know. You'll see me wound up one day.
Rumor has it he's in negotiations to be sponsored next year by Dreyer's Ice Cream. We were trying to bag on him about the ice cream thing. I guess he showed us, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah.
We better go get a We better go get a brownie sundae, you know.
Well, he was doing it right.
Gucci. Like maybe buying a Giorgio Armani suit or something.
something like that.
Now that you have the big coin.
No, I don't have as much coin as you do.
Do you know what the word performance clause means?
Yeah, I've heard
To the
about
people
that.
at home, do you know what performance clause means?
Means he can ride like a bad boy.
Right, and when he rides like a bad boy, he gets paid, you know? So it's a good year, right?
Yeah, but, you know, lately I've been on the DL pretty much, and I need to really finish it with a bang today, and I'm looking forward to it.
You guys all had a really good year here in the Yamaha camp.
Yeah, it's been good for one member of the team pretty much at every race so far this year.
We were talking about luck, all right? You had a kid, you did good. Who else had a kid and did good? Doug Henry?
Yeah, Doug was...
Is it a Yamaha thing? Is it a baby thing?
I think maybe it is a Yamaha thing. I mean, Doug started it, and I saw how well he was doing, so, you know, we decided to try it out.
Do you think there's any truth to the rumor that when you have a baby, you do better?
Of course, of course.
What do you think, Ryder?
Go away!
Well, let's put it this way. If you look off the line and I got your kid held over my head, you're probably going to hole shot right over and kill me.
Basically, we'll put the hand up and delay the race.
Hang on. Editor's note. Steve soon will be a father. In 2 months, your lovely wife, Ken, is expecting. So, you know, do it for the kid.
I'll do it for the kid.
We're going to run a crash reel at the end of this show. Who would you vote for the king of hitting the dirt all year long? Supercross and motocross combined.
King of hitting the dirt.
Oh, leaving the bike was Albertyn.
Who do you think should get the number one plate in crashing?
I don't know. I had some pretty good ones in Supercross.
Can he sandwich through? Carmichael runs into the back.
125, 250, all classes. Who's the king?
Ryan Hughes. I seen him take some big get-offs, and guy got up and walked away.
Look out, Ryan Hughes.
While I got both of you here, we're doing the crash video at the end of the year. Who do you think? We'll ask you first. No, wait. Who do you think's going to win out of everybody here? Who's crashed the most?
I'd say me and Albie are probably.
Other than me, I think Albie has his share of falls. That'd have to be Albie. He's got his own bent handlebars now.
Albertyn? Greg's crash sticks out #1 for me at Glen Helen. I was right behind him when he did that big spin out.
Whoa, does a helicopter spin.
What about you when you broke your leg? Was that better than him?
I don't think so. His was very spectacular. He went fly pretty high, you know, that was a good jump off the bike.
I'd have to say Albie.
Is the whole tape on me?
I was just going to say, everybody I ask, who wins the crash award? Albertyn. It's all about you.
You know
You
what?
would think nobody else crashed.
I heard Ferry say something the other day, which was quite true. I'm getting so good at crashing, I don't even get hurt anymore.
Transfer spot.
Oh, leaving the bike was Albertyn. A 9th place finish in the last race, and there he goes
A
down.
lot of things good, and then,
Oh, leaving the bike was Albertyn flying through the air. He knew he couldn't hit the triple. He knew he was going to case it, so he left the bike in midair.
You know, you're the top dog in Europe. You just won 3 world championships. You're the best, and everybody knows it. And then you go to a strange place, again, different country, different people you have to get to know, and all of a sudden you're not winning. You know, when you're winning, everything fits into place. Everything is easy. Even the biggest problem becomes the smallest problem. But when you're not winning, the smallest problem becomes the biggest problem. And it feels like you're drowning. And to get yourself out of that rut is very, very tough. And, but you know, it comes back to a bad day at the motocross track is even better than a good day at the office, you know, and I really enjoy what I do. And that's why I keep on smiling, you know, even though I'm going through those tough times and having a difficult time in getting my confidence up, it's still what I love to do.
What a great feeling this has got to be for the Suzuki camp and Greg Albertyn. His very first overall in the national circuit here in America. He doesn't have far to go for victory. Greg Albertyn, can he gain his first Supercross victory in the United States? Albertyn through the timing section takes the checkered flag.
Definitely was one of the sweetest victories. You know, I like to surprise people, and I think a lot of people were saying there's no way he's going to do it in Supercross this year. And, you know, going out and winning the first race was just awesome. I mean, everything fitted together so perfectly that day.
Albertyn on a charge for the lead. Whoa, Albie is down. In typical fashion, Albertyn is back up and going again. He lost only 3 spots.
Nobody likes to finish second, but to finish first is a big, big sacrifice. And you don't win races by giving up. And what I learned in my World Championship days is at the end of the year, 1 point can make the difference of being world champion or not. 1 point. That's all it takes. If I'd gone down and I was in contention for the title and I decided I'm not going to finish, or I wasn't going to try very hard, and I only got 10th instead of 2nd, at the end of that year, you know that you're going to be regretting that result, because that's what's going to make the difference between you being champion or not. So the way I look at it, you got to give everything you can all of the time, so that at the end of the year you go, I've done everything I can to get where I wanted to go, and whatever happens, happens after that.
Albertyn, the Checkers, his first overall of the year. The former world champion doesn't look like he's going to give up until he wins a crown here in America.
All right, all you moto junkies, before we get to Delmont's main attraction, let's look back and see how the kid, Carmichael, wrapped up his first ever pro title. When we last checked in on the 125ers, Kevin Windham had just come off consecutive wins at Redbud and Unadilla. This put him solidly in second and 68 points behind RC. However, at Troy, Carmichael would ride one of the smartest races of the season, finishing second overall behind an unstoppable, well, at least for a day anyway, Damon Huffman. The sweep at Millville, Little Ricky put himself in a position to win the title at Washougal. And that's when the Carmichael-Windham rivalry went into a frenzy. The two would put on epic 15-minute Moto1 battles. Back and forth they went, Kevin not wanting to give in to the 17-year-old phenom. But it was too late. Carmichael grabbed both Moto victories and the championship. So with the title already wrapped up, do you think Ricky would sit on his crown? Hell no. These two battled to the closest moto finish of the year, the Yamaha edging the Cowie in the first race, but losing out in the overall. All right, here's the deal from Delmont to 125 Moto1. Kevin Windham lets the entire 125 field know he means business with the first hole shot of the day. Behind the Yamaha, Steve Lamson and Ricky Carmichael were battling out for second place. RC wasted little time before moving into second, and then one corner later, he took the lead away from Kevin. Here we go again. These two have stolen the show, and why not? With battles like these, they have deserved all the attention. Carmichael not wanting to give an inch to the more experienced Windham. Behind these two, a patient Steve Lamson sat waiting, hoping for a mistake that would promote him to the front. Caught in between a Honda sandwich was the Suzuki of Mickael Pichon, who finished fourth, just in front of Scott Sheak, rounding out the top 5. So who won? You guessed it, little Ricky Carmichael comes away with his 14th moto victory. You know what I like the best about you, Ricky, is when you get past, you don't give up. Right away in the next turn, you try and get it back.
Yeah, I was made a few bobbles here. I hit neutral here at the finish line, and Kevin was able to get by me, and I don't know, I was riding a little tense, you know, I was holding on too tight, and I was able to pass Kevin back and rode my own race.
Moto 2. Windham again jumps out into the lead. Carmichael, Lamson, right there behind him. The three fastest 125 riders in the world are just getting set to go at it again when RC slips on the newly watered track. Windham pulls out to a huge lead. So you're thinking that's it, this moto is boring? Wrong. Carmichael hitches on the back of Damon Huffman and takes a joyride through the field. By the time Carmichael makes the move on Huffman, he's come from 30th to an unbelievable. Ahead of the 97 champ was Roncada, Pichon, the two Hondas that swapped spots twice, with Lammy winning the war of attrition. Windham wins the last 125 overall for the second year in a row. The final tally looks like this. Carmichael, Windham, Sheak, holding off the two Frenchmen, Pichon and Roncada, for third. Mammoth Mountain winner Casey Johnson, Damon Huffman, and Tim Ferry fill out positions 6 through 8. The two-time champion Lammy, competing in only 9 events because of an injury, ends up 9. Reporting for Rev It Up, I'm Jerry Bernardo.
Rev It Up, brought to you in part by Honda Passport, the official 4-wheel drive vehicle of MW2's Rev It Up.
Will Emig use up the track on John Dowd on this final lap? Where will Dowdy make his move? He cuts to the inside. Dowdy's got a wheel. No, Emig comes back. Emig got the tire to the ground quicker.
After Jeff Emig reestablished his dominance in the smoldering heat of Troy, Ohio, the Emig-Dowd war of the Checkers resumed up north in Minnesota, and once again they didn't disappoint the fans with a Moto2 fight to the finish.
We're getting toward the checkered flag. Dowdy touches him a little bit. The throttle by Jeff Emig.
After coming up short by inches in Unadilla and Millville, it was clear at Washougal that those losses had weighed heavy on the mind of John Dowd, as he struggled to a 25th in Moto1, and if not for a last lap pass for third in the second moto, the title would have been handed to Mr. Emig in Washington. However, all Jeff had to do now to take his second straight 250 title is not miss his flight to New York. Emig showed up in Binghamton, clinching the title with a cautious second overall. With the championship race over, John Dowd surprised no one at the usual 210% en route to his third win of the season. Two remarkable stories happened in New York. First, Doug Henry returned after breaking both arms only 10 weeks earlier. Secondly, he hole-shotted the first moto of his return. So with the championship over, why do we want to give the scoop at Delmont? Because you had Dowd and Emig ready to do battle once again, with number 14 John Dowd winning the last round of the fight. Part 2 of the equation, could Jeremy McGrath ride a Suzuki to win? Number 2 McGrath looked like he was going to answer our question with a hole shot in Moto 1. McGrath led the first half of the race until a hungry Jeff Emig caught and passed the 95 champ. Emig looked like he would pull away to the win until grabbing a banner in his rear tire. This enabled, of all people, a fired-up Michael Craig with Jeremy right behind him to grab control of the lead. These two ran, but they couldn't hide from the champ. Emig caught McGrath, and then with 2 laps, blitzed by Craig. Following Jeff forward was Greg Albertyn, who took McGrath to third. It was Emig's 17th moto victory of the season.
What about Craig? What was he doing? He jumps on the 250s, then he's out front trying to beat you guys. I mean, he put on a good ride, but I knew you weren't having none of that.
No, actually, Mike rode a great race that time, and so did Jeremy. It was good to see him back up there. You know, I ran into some problems of my own, but I guess like a true champion does, you just keep trying. And when I picked up the banners for the first, well, I think I only got them once, but right. I picked it up and the rear brake went away. And so you know, my first instinct, you know, was just to ride the brake and just try to heat it up and get all the plastic off there. And I think that it came off in there at the end of the race. I mean, you know, it seemed to be back to normal, you know, or at least good enough to win with.
The final moto of 1997 saw Jeff Emig be patient off the line, but would later check out from the field. Michael Craig got another good start grabbing a hole shot, but would fade to 5th. In front of Craig, Greg Albertyn looked strong again, finishing 4th. Ezra Lusk rode his final race on the Yamaha to 3rd. The champ would have been able to stick it on cruise control if it was not for a determined Mike LaRocco, who got an unusually good start and kept Bro on his heels all moto long. However, Emig would survive for his 7th overall and a 1-1 sweep of the year. The final points looked like this. Emig's margin over Dowd was the second biggest of the 90s. McGrath, Larry Ward, and Mike LaRocco rounded out the first 5. 5 through 10 had Lusk, Ryan Hughes, Albie, McGrath's 1998 teammate, Jimmy Button, and Damon Bradshaw over 100 points in front of Mike Kudrowski in 11th. Emig's points margin was second in the 90s to Mike LaRocco's 250 title in 1994, when he beat none other than John Dowd by 150 points en route to the championship. Check out the top 5 points margin since 1980. Emig may not be the top dog on this list, but recently the newly crowned champ had a chance to live his own version of Top Gun.
Jeff Emig! Here comes Emig right back again.
Today I have the pleasure of flying Jeff Emig. He arrived here this morning about 7 o'clock at the squadron and had an opportunity to visit with our flight surgeon. While he's in probably pretty good shape for being a motocross driver, we have some certain things we look for that the flight surgeon looks for when he's looking at a guy for flying in an airplane. Primarily make sure he can clear his ears. Once he successfully did that, took him into life support training where we fit him up with a G-suit.
Kind of getting nervous now. The more they tighten me up, the more I realize that something's going to happen.
In the back seat, it's a little bit different. You can't see it on this thing here, but basically there's a hot mic, cold mic.
At that time, we handed him over to Captain Noonan, who took him into our seat training and hanging harness training area, where he had an opportunity to sit in the seat, go through some emergency procedures to get out of the airplane, and then hang in the harness itself to simulate being in a parachute and the procedures he had to go through there. I just brought him back, set him down, and we went over the flight brief. We're going to take off out of here if the weather allows us.
I'm feeling pretty good, actually. Not quite as nervous right now as what I thought I might be at this point, but it's starting to creep up on me. I guess once the canopy closes.
and they fire up the engine. You know.
When I was putting the flight together, I'm looking at a lot of different people, and just through meeting Jeff several different times and reading different articles that he had interviews on, I definitely thought he was the best choice. So he's up there right now and he's having a great time.
Do a max performance climb, head out over the water. At that time, we'll take turns doing some macros, showing him some of the things we can do in the F-15, and then bring him back in here to land.
The first vertical climb that we took was pretty intense, you know, and you had to get used to feeling the G's. And then we pulled 6.9 G's, and that was heavy. That was heavy. We did some fours, you know, basically kept around 4 the rest of the time. And I kept it together. There was a couple of times I didn't think I was going to be able to, but I had a real good time.
Didn't get sick. That's the important thing. The crew chief will like him for that, but he did a great job. Super job. My pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
The stuff that he can make that thing do is far beyond what I can even comprehend.
Yeah, did good. Did well.
Thanks. Really well.
MW2's Rev It Up is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and ATVs. Get one of the best deals on earth. Get a pair of Steiner binoculars with select Honda ATVs. And by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it.
It's been a pretty good year, huh? You having fun, kid? Talk to me, open up.
I've had the most fun this year.
Seriously.
And it seems like the least amount of work because I'm having fun all the time and I enjoy being here. And I mean,
you make it look easy. Doesn't he make it look easy? Yeah. You can always get him to say whatever you want. All right, thanks, Jeff Burrows. Hey, that's it from Delmont. Rev it up. We're out of here. Let's hear it.
The gate is down for moto number 1. Hughes to the inside, and it's Albertyn going down.
Right there. Look at that.
Oh, he tried the same move, but oh no, national season. Whoa, reaching up for a terrible Albertyn. Number 1. Oh, Albertyn more on this track. Look out, Ryan Hughes.
Not in the rut just yet. He got to take a look. There's the flagger getting out of the way. There's another look. Casey was just trying to stay in the line. Windham was
getting it on. Oh, Gunson around the corner of McGrath. Whoa! Then they keep a closer look at that. Oh, Lusk.
Hard to tell because he was coming at them.
Here comes Lamson into the woods. Whoa, bucket Bronco. Oh, he cased it hard. Oh, let's start number 80. He gets the whole shot. Oh, some courage in turn 1.
Yep, he hits that stake right there in the ground with the